So I've been learning about neutrino stars.
What? That's unexpected.
Well, neutrino to me sounds like some sort of weird health drink that you have on a morning to make you poop. Anyway, I've been learning about neutrino stars, and basically they're like a chocolate hazelnut delight chocolate. That's what I've learned. They're hard in the middle. There's a slightly softer bit around that, and then the outside is a slightly harder crust with little bubbles on it. So that's my knowledge of neutrino stars. Basically, I got interested because they made it sound like a chocolate. And I'm thinking, well, the moon's cheese, planets are made of diamonds, and the Earth is just a pile of poo. So why shouldn't stars be made out of chocolate?
And what better way could there be to start the podcast?
Thank you.
This is Sowerby and Luff Deluxe.
On tape from Studio Senseless in leafy London town, it's Sowerby and Luff Deluxe.
There is a place where dreams live.
Welcome along to Sowerby and Luff Deluxe. Georgina, is your hair a different colour?
No, it's not a different colour.
You haven't changed it?
I haven't changed it, no. Why do you think I have?
What have you done?
I haven't done
It's
anything.
different.
It's simply fastened back, that's all.
But fastening it back wouldn't change its colour, would it?
No, well, in another universe, maybe it might.
Well, I'm just confused now. Because when you...
It's because you can only see the top half of my head. The rest of it is blonde.
The reason I'm confused is when you change your hair colour, I don't notice.
No, you do not.
And yet, when you don't change your hair colour,
You think I've done it?
I think I've changed your hair colour.
Right, okay. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Well, this is...
Notice more.
This is Sowerby and Luff Deluxe. Coming up, when is a UFO not a UFO?
When it's an egg.
In Flying Saucers at My Pants.
Yes.
Georgina Sowerby's Corridors of Conspiracy.
Oh, yes.
asks,
It's a good one this week.
Do you have a microchip implanted in your brain?
Yeah, it's important for us all to know.
Or in any other part of your body?
Well, yeah.
And-
They don't put it in the brain. That's a top tip.
And in Toast Haunted, the terrifying ghost of the boy with no eyes.
I suppose if you have no eyes in life, do you carry that through to being a ghost?
Why don't you save up all those questions until we get to that piece of content, Georgina?
Will do.
First,
Will do.
So first, matters arising.
Matters are.
Okay.
Is this where you rant?
Yeah, no, they're not always necessarily rants.
Okay,
Georgina.
sometimes it's lovely, I'm sure.
They're simply matters arising.
Okay.
And the first matter arising
Yes.
is the matter of the draft excluders.
Yes.
Now, it's been very, very cold.
It has
in
been
London.
cold.
Sub-zero temperatures.
Freezing.
For a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And in order to stop the draft shooting down the flat from the rear of the flat...
From the north side to the south
to
side.
the front of the flat,
Yeah.
Georgina always puts down a draft excluder outside the studio and outside the big bedroom. Right, okay. Now, the issue is that...
I know you have what you're going to say now.
The trouble with that is that even when Georgina tells me that there's going to be a draft excluder...
Yeah, which I carefully explain.
Full disclosure, we use football scarves.
Might as well get some use out of them.
Yes, the draft excluder into the big bedroom is a Tottenham Hotspur scarf. Yes. And the draft excluder into the studio is a Barnet FC scarf, which is my second team.
Yeah, okay.
They're not very good, I know, but that's my second team. It's a lovely black and orange
and now
scarf.
they're being used as draft excluders.
Now, even when Georgina tells me that they're there,
which I do, health and safety.
Why is it? And I'm asking you to answer this question. Why do I still, every single time, trip over them?
Because you're an idiot.
Even though, no, it can't be as simple as that.
It is as simple as that.
It must be something to do with habit or...
Yeah, okay, what I'm going to do is when I put the draft excluders down, you know when they're going to be down, it's cold outside, and we can feel the wind breezing through the flat because it's an old flat. So, when I put the draft excluders down, from now on, I'm going to print out a great big poster that says, "Hey, idiot, don't trip over the draft excluders."
The trouble with that, Georgina, is that I wouldn't read the poster.
No, I know.
You know that.
No one reads posters. I know that as
true.
fact.
Matters arising.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Okay.
Right. Georgina's unreasonable hatred of fairy lights.
Just some fairy lights. Can I put a disclaimer in?
No.
Little fairy lights, I don't mind. The fairy lights we have in our front room are like a landing strip lights. We could literally guide planes into blooming North London with the fairy lights in our front room.
There's a reason. They've been there for 2 years since lockdown. Yeah. Right? They were put in during lockdown because we weren't going anywhere for Christmas. So I wanted to bring Christmas to us.
But they're there all the time.
And the reason they're so bright is because the only people that could see them were on Zoom. Right. So when we were doing our Christmas Zooms and our Christmas workshops and all the other things that we were doing on Zoom during lockdown, those lovely fairy lights were in the background.
Yes.
You see?
I get that.
Right?
It's decoration.
Now, should I just, if you're never going to let me put them on,
no.
Right, should I just take them down?
I've actually surrounded the plug, haven't I, with things so you can't get to the plug. Have you noticed how I've made it impossible for you to switch them on? In a vague way of going, I really don't want these. Thing is, it's just bright and it's in your eyes all the time. Fairy lights are supposed to be relaxing. They're not supposed to be making you feel like you're under some sort of interrogation from the CIA.
Yeah, you have an unreasonable hatred of many things, Georgina.
Not unreasonable.
In the next podcast, I might mention one of the others.
Okay.
And the final matter arising, which is nothing to do with you.
Excellent.
Right, you'll be pleased to hear. Winter Watch. Right.
Yes.
The BBC's Winter Watch.
I think I know what you're going to say here.
Has a obsession, an unnatural, unhealthy, really, obsession with showing things eating other things.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, things do eat other things. Winter Watch basically is a programme where it puts live cameras out into the countryside and you watch animals eating other animals.
Yeah,
That's just what happens in nature.
And it's always on at tea time.
Yes.
Right? And the one that really gets me is birds eating other birds.
I know.
Right?
Isn't there something really, really like...
And it's not a random thing, right?
No.
There was a roadkill pheasant, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sorry if you're eating your tea, everybody.
Yeah.
They scraped this bloody thing off the road, literally, put it in front of a camera,
right? Okay.
And waited for some kind of predator to come down and get it. Now, some kind of bird of prey came down. Right. I can't remember what it was. It might have been a falcon or an eagle or a kestrel or something.
Yes.
And these beautiful birds are birds of prey. They're supposed to kill things. Right,
and they do that quite successfully.
They're not vultures, are they?
No.
But this big scary-looking bird of prey with a pointy beak flew down and ate this bloody thing on live television.
But it's a little bit of pheasant, and who doesn't like a little bit of pheasant every now and again?
No more, please.
It was already dead.
Please, BBC.
I have to say, I once in town, and I went into town, and there was a dead pigeon, and there was a group of ravens consuming it, and it is one of the most disgraceful things I think I've ever witnessed.
Like something from an Edgar Allan Poe horror poem. Yes. So please, BBC, no more birds eating other birds.
Yeah, birds eating other birds.
That was Matters Arising. Next up, flying saucers at my pants.
Flying saucers ate my pants.
I love the way he says that. Why is it pants? It's so American.
You should be getting used to it by
pants.
Now. Today on Flying Saucers ate my pants. When is a UFO not a UFO?
When it's not a UFO. When it's everything else.
We have learned to our horror that UFOs are no longer called UFOs anymore.
Why not?
The US government has rebranded them.
Right.
Ask me what UFOs are called now, Georgina.
Was it an expensive rebrand, like other rebrands, where they have to get a think tank to think about it for thousands of years?
I don't know, maybe.
Yeah,
but
okay.
what they are now called...
They're called...
They're called
spooky alien transport identification flight.
No, let's move this forward. They are called now UAPs.
United Artist Productions.
Which sounds a bit like
Oh, you see, because they are United Artist Productions. I've got it. Okay.
It sounds a bit like OAPs, which stands for Old Age Pensioners. So it actually stands for Unilateral... No, it doesn't stand for unilateral.
Does it not? Because I was liking that, because no one's going to remember it.
I wrote a little list of things it could stand for.
Oh, right.
Unilateral anus pumps, unofficial aardvark patrol. So, no, it actually stands for unidentified aerial phenomena. How does that grab you?
It should be unidentified aerial... projectiles.
It's unidentified aerial phenomena.
You see, you can't even say it. So everyone's going to keep calling them UFOs.
Phenomena.
Unidentified, yeah, same.
So my first question is, why rebrand flying saucers at all?
Well, because they're not all flying saucers now. Some of them are eggs. Some of them are.
Well, that's what we're going to.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to move on to. There was nothing wrong with the name UFO.
Yeah.
It probably cost a lot of money to rebrand them.
Yep, I'm sure.
Tens of millions, probably.
like all the BBC rebrands. That cost us £15 million.
I think I speak for everyone on the planet Earth when I say that we do not want UAPs. We want UFOs.
UAP sounds like a delivery service, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely. On this podcast, I am definitely going to continue to refer to them as UFOs.
You put your foot down. You put your foot down and don't even call them USPs.
Anyway.
Or whatever the heck they're now called.
Anyway, at the beginning of this year, 2023, the US government published a new report on 350 UFO sightings.
Right. Well, most of them in Texas.
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
but about half of those sightings were described as, quote, unremarkable. Right. So I'm smelling another huge waste of money here, Georgina. Are you smelling another huge waste of money?
Maybe that's what the you should stand for. It's unremarkable.
So it looks like
age pensioners.
To the US government, if we did still call them UFOs, that would now mean unremarkable flying objects.
Yeah.
Right?
Can I put my hand up and say I've already forgotten what UAP stands for? So it's not flying off my tongue here. Carry on.
According to Washington, unremarkable.
Anything that starts according to anywhere in America should always be taken with a pinch of salt. Washington, yeah.
Unremarkable flying objects include,
okay.
Drones.
Well, they're not aliens.
Plastic bags.
Is this for reals?
Yes, this is for real. Paper bags.
Is this so people don't phone in to say, I saw a floating object, I think it was a paper bag?
Clouds.
Oh, my word.
Weather balloons.
They don't have to warn people,
Party balloons.
Is this...
I've added speech balloons.
Speech balloons.
Do you know what a speech balloon is?
I do know what a speech balloon is. It's what's on a comic when someone speaks. It's a speech bubble, I call them.
So it's not exactly X-Files, is it, this report? So, surprisingly...
So don't phone in if you see a flying paper bag. That's the key.
Birds are officially considered unremarkable flying objects.
Oh,
right?
Are they, though?
So the US military has listed sightings of birds in some of its UAP reports.
So people have phoned up to say they've seen birds flying.
Apparently, in Texas.
Unless birds are eating other birds, then there's no comment needs to be made, I think. It's what birds do. They flay all the time.
So I've written down a slogan for this.
Yeah.
Is it a bird?
No.
Is it a plane?
No.
No, wait, it's a bird.
Yeah.
So is
it a paper bag? No. Is it a bird?
A
no.
bird is not a UFO.
Oh, wait.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So maybe it depends on the type of bird. I don't. Maybe it's only birds that eat other birds.
I've just said that. I literally have just said birds that eat other birds is remarkable. It's not unremarkable.
So the other half of the sightings report.
These
Washington,
are the remarkable ones. Yeah.
Mostly nowadays spotted by trigger-happy military pilots. right?
Oh.
Who, if they see anything, assume that it's attacking them from another country. Don't panic. The US government concludes in their 2023
I
report.
was panicking a little, yes.
Yeah, by saying this is the summary of the report. Right?
Yeah, okay.
We have not recently seen anything that would lead us to believe that any of the objects that we have seen are of alien origin.
But they're going to say that, so none of us panic.
So,
That's the whole point, isn't it?
In other words, it's been a really shit year for UFOs.
Yeah, okay.
So far.
I'll go with that.
So I'm going to put
January, though, is a bit of a boring month,
I'm going to put that
isn't it?
right with a UFO report. Mm-hmm. Right. This is a historic UFO sighting by a man in South Africa. Right?
Okay.
We'll call him Eric. Not his real name.
No, his real name.
Eric
Okay.
says that in
Yes.
South Africa they call UFOs the fiery visitors.
I like that. That's quite dramatic.
Which is what I call a poo after I've had a curry. Right. So,
Boom, boom.
thousands of... Thank you.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Thousands of years before UFOs were heard of in other parts of the world, Eric says that the people of Africa had contact with these flying objects and the creatures inside them.
Oh, there's creatures inside the fiery furnaces.
Fiery, yes.
The fiery furnaces.
So, when I was working at the History Channel,
Yes.
name drop, Georgina,
Okay.
I was responsible for the British website for a show called Ancient Aliens, which, of course, you know I'm now completely obsessed with.
It's a weird program.
It comes on
that
at
one.
about midnight.
Yeah, I
you
leave
know.
the room because
Yes.
I really can't be bothered.
It's a good
with
way
it.
of getting Georgina to just get up and go to bed early, really.
It is.
Anyway, Eric, let's call him Eric, not
Eric,
his real name,
yes.
says that he can only speak with great
Is
caution.
his real name John?
No.
Right, okay.
He says he can only speak with great caution about these things because his people are not allowed to talk in detail about them, or, he says, they are worried that the starships will stop visiting us.
I'm putting my hand up. See, this is a problem with all these alien things because people, officially aren't allowed to talk about them. So immediately you just go, it's a load of bollocks then, isn't it? Don't give me, I've just seen an alien, but I'm not allowed to talk about it. That's the equivalent of saying, I was in the SAS, but I'm not allowed to tell anyone.
So Eric says that these creatures are greys, and of course we know what greys are. They're the sort of default
We don't.
alien. You don't? Okay.
You know, I don't watch that programme.
I'll
I don't
talk to
know
you-
that aliens are grey.
Aliens
Why?
that are called greys have got huge dark eyes that go halfway around their heads,
Okay.
which means...
That makes sense, like an owl. Oh,
which
no,
means they
owls
can
don't,
look
do
at you
they?
over their shoulder without turning their head around.
Okay, that's always useful.
Would you like eyes like that, Georgina?
I don't. I'm not a big turning my head fan, so yes, absolutely.
Do you not want to know what's going on behind you?
What's going on behind me?
Yeah. Well, you just said you're not a great
Is
turning
something
your head
going
around
on behind
fan.
me?
You said you're not a great fan
See,
of turning your head around.
If I was an alien, I'd know what was going on behind me.
Personally, I'd
You'd
rather...
know immediately if people were laughing behind your back because your eyes are always looking at them.
Personally, Georgina, I'd rather not know what's going on behind me.
Yeah.
So what kind of creature would evolve
Okay.
to be looking over its shoulder all the time?
A bird.
Which, well, no, that leads me to think that maybe these extraterrestrials are some kind of criminals on the run, right, who are constantly looking over their shoulders. Or maybe they're all paranoid. Anyway, back to Eric.
Yeah.
We'll call him Eric, not his real name.
Oh,
Says that
yeah.
these creatures sometimes take human beings, cut them open,
Yeah, I've heard
then
that. yeah.
stitch them up again and
Yes.
make them forget what's happened. Now, that got me thinking.
Sounds like a night out.
Other times they're not able to do this because there's a long waiting list, so there are no beds available. So that got me thinking again. Does that mean...
No, hold on. Sometimes they're not allowed to open them up because there are no beds available, or sometimes they're not allowed to make them forget because there are
That
no
got me
beds
thinking
available.
that these days you might have to wait for months to be abducted by aliens and operated on.
There's a waiting list.
Anyway,
I like the idea of that.
Eric says that the only way you get this stuff out of people is by putting them in a deep trance.
Okay, that's
So
fair
a
enough.
hypnotist puts them in a deep trance, and that's when these memories of alien abduction comes back.
Okay,
And
that's
that also got me thinking. When they wake up,
no.
can you clap your hands and they do an impression of Dolly Parton?
yeah.
Or do they suddenly give up smoking?
Yes. Every
after
time
being
you say a
abducted?
certain word, they start walking around like a chicken. Okay, yeah, I'm up for that.
That was Flying Saucers at My Pants. Still to come on Sowerby and Luff Deluxe. Do you have a microchip implanted somewhere in your body? If so, how? Plus, why did NASA smash a thing into another thing?
Yes.
And why would a woman fake going into labour? And of course, His Majesty King Charles III will be here to talk about the Denver Broncos.
If you'd like to listen to the full-length version of this podcast, and who wouldn't, please go to patreon.com/Studio Senseless and become a patron of Sowerby and Luff Deluxe.